So it's been about 15 minutes since I finished watching episode 11 of Explosion. I'm not even gonna finish the name. I'm so dumbfounded. This show, this Axis cult in general, any cult, aka church, that worships Aqua, you knew was gonna be down bad, especially given the earlier points of this season where Father Zesta, that dude needed to be locked away. Best character for comedy level, but damn if he ain't perverted as hell. But you have to admit that when you see someone like this woman, who ends up following our girl Megami, and she already had some questionable behavior, I'm pretty speechless when I see her huff her sheets in this suffocation kink-like way, to the point that I'm not even able to speak for a couple of minutes when watching this. This show is killing me, and yeah, this spin-off is going off on a bang. Now, full live reaction to episode 11 of Explosion from This Wonderful World, or On This Wonderful World, whatever you want to call it, is available on my Patreon, especially if you want to see my mind break, because I'm not joking, when it happened, I was actually speechless, because if we rewind back during the bathing scene when, 3-4 episodes ago, when she was staying with the cult, this woman definitely had some questionable desires towards Megami, especially considering the fact, I think it was the next morning when they were parting off, she literally said something along the lines of, what type of adult would we be if we didn't help kids like you? So she very much views our Explosion girl as a child, yet the first moment she has, she'll say, can I wash you in the bathtub? Or, hey, I'm gonna curl up in your bed, which, it's a little invasive, but it's not the weirdest thing ever. But it gets weird when it's not like she just was sniffing either, which would be weird, but she full on suffocates herself. And I'm not going to show images because YouTube wouldn't like that. But anyone who's seen the suffocation kink where basically people there's different versions. I've seen one where they were pretty much, it looked like they were in plastic wrap. I don't know what to call it, but it was this street performance where they were strung up and I think they have a hole for their mouth, but otherwise they're just completely covered in plastic. I've seen others where they're trapped in a plastic cube. I don't know. It's a suffocation kink. I guess some people like it, power to them. But that's kind of what it felt like when Cecily was just she pulled it. It looked like any of the horror movies where you see characters trying to come through the walls or come through the screens. You know how the face will press up against the glass or the wood on the walls and it'll almost make the face pushing out? She was going so hard, and I don't know why, but the fact that she hasn't been killed yet, because we know, as crazy as Megami might be, she can one-shot KO a fool, and I'm surprised she hasn't launched an explosion spell. Now granted, if Union was there, she would have been absolutely burnt to a crisp, but I am baffled, man. That was one of the funniest things I have seen in this show, period. And for what's feeling like the bonus episodes of Season 1, we're constantly seeing Kazuma, we're seeing Aqua, their VAs are here, which most likely we got blessed with that because they are working on Season 3, so therefore the VAs would probably already be recording lines for Season 3, so therefore having them record a few extra lines for the spin-off just makes sense. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't hear Darkness, we wouldn't hear some of the VAs until obviously the next season, but that just makes it brilliant in my opinion. But it's wild, man, because the story's at an absolute brilliant point where we're having Megami without a doubt notice Kazuma, notice Aqua, but we have the big old demon who, gotta love Megami's sister. Making pacts with demons is just what this family probably is gonna do. Looking for old Chomsky and just is causing such a ruckus to the point where we're bargaining for our lives, saying, hey, if you give us the cat, I won't hurt the town or anything. We know damn well if Megami could launch an actual explosion on this demon, he'd get blasted like Team Rocket and Pokemon, but it's a matter of if she can cast it fast enough. Hell, we still don't even know if she needs to do the whole chant, or if she just does it for dramatic effect, but either way, it's a pretty fun final stretch of the season if you ask me. We're without a doubt going in the direction of lining up with the beginning of Season 1, and even if they don't go the route of the whole cast sitting around a table at the end talking with each other, which is pretty much how they end up, seeing each other in Season 1. What we're clearly doing is we're going out on a bang. The title of next episode is literally the title of this anime. So we're gonna end with probably a big fight with this demon, and most likely somehow Union and Megami parting ways, as they weren't together at the beginning of season 1 anyway, and it's gonna line up perfectly. We got to see some of the funniest Konosuba stuff since season 1, and some of these jokes are even funnier than some of the best jokes of season 1 if you ask me. It constantly has you saying, why is this occurring? And yes, if you remove the Axis cult stuff that Megami's been associated with in the second half of the show, I would knock the show down a peg. Not saying it would be bad without it, but you can't argue that post-school was way funnier than when she was in school. But that was an important part to understanding why the chuniness is so around her and her family, and why Union is such a brilliant character because she was able to rub the chuny off. And while may have been an outcast at that village, I mean, you gotta admit, she gotta be strong as hell and have balls of steel if she was able to withstand the chuniness that she grew up around, right? Konosuba is one of my favorite comedy anime I've ever seen. I've rewatched season 1 more times than I can keep track of, because either I rewatch random episodes or I find myself rewatching the entirety of the first season just in a matter of a night, just because I'm like, if I want to laugh, those toads are gonna make me laugh. But it's so nice, man, because Megami was already a brilliant character, but these moments and really seeing her, like, her just almost go pale in the face at the seeing this, like, I don't want to deal with this, and getting dragged away by Union, or going in the cemetery and thinking there's a ghost behind you and then there's just Boughton. It's just, there's some really, really fun comedy this season, and I'm absolutely having a blast. Am I disappointed it's coming to an end next week? Of course. But I mean, we knew this wasn't going to last forever, and I think the idea of getting to a solid stopping point that more or less lines up with season 1 is far better than spending the whole season at the school, which is what I thought they were going to do originally, but I was kind of looking at it as, oh, we're going to kind of have like a Little Witch Academia, but Chuny edition in Konosuba. But instead, we got to really understand her character more, and in doing so, season 3 I think is going to hit a lot different. And hell, when I rewatch seasons 1 and 2 in anticipation, I think a lot of the season 2 stuff, now seeing what kind of like the breadcrumbs and the establishing moments from this show, are just gonna kind of hit all the more, right? I think it's a damn shame that there are legit Konosuba fans who have slept on this spinoff thinking that they didn't need to watch it, because even if something isn't necessarily super important in the grand picture of the next season, if you like a character like Megami, you're doing yourself a disservice to not watch her origin story and to see how so many of the jokes that make me laugh, or seeing characters that have made me laugh in the prior season, seeing them just, there's kind of slightly mentioned, we hear their voices or we see them a little blurry, just all those great season 1 and 2 jokes just make so much more sense seeing a show like this. And it just honestly feels kind of like fan service done right, because it kind of feels like the bonus episodes of season 1. But that's just my feelings. Let me know what you're thinking though, because we have one more episode to go. I thought this was a great, if not jaw-dropping episode, but let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more Konosuba on the channel. And as I mentioned, full live reaction to this wonderful episode is available on my Patreon if you're interested. And while you're there, you can also get a video shout-out like Matter Paradoxa, Michael, Kelsey Tonaga, and Frozen Zero are getting today. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.